the koala farmer. Alrighty, so let's just make sure this is all working. Give me 5 seconds. I want to see if I can hear my voice. Alrighty, so alright, that's recording. So hopefully that picks up everything else. Okay, the boys. So we're in Theramore, and we're going to head up here just for a short run, just to see if we can piss off some people. But we're going to make our way over to Desolus, which I'll probably need to go anyway. I thought it was actually Feralus, but I was wrong. But let's just get over, use up our bonus XP on some AoE farming. Let me just quickly check the other last. Okay. She's going alright. Let me just check the stream. Okay. So I was using my level 60 paladin to generate farming, and it can get quite boring. I did make a couple hundred gold. As soon as I made it, I was spending it. I was getting a bit carried away, so I had to stop. But then I thought, I'll get these mages going. I took all their gold off them, and I gave them to the paladin, who again used it to buy whatever I needed to buy on him. So these two had at best 0 to 2 gold on them, and they were about level 33, 34, and now this bloke's on 50, nearly 55, and that's after buying gear. And give me a second here. Okay, that's fine. And mana, she's on 15. That's after she spent stupid amounts of money. Give me a second. I need to have that going. So at the moment, he's sitting on near enough 2,000 life, 3,400 mana. We better invite each other. And she's on 1,848 with more mana. Gear I'm running, pretty much all Eagle gear. Still using that from level 20, my god. That's the only thing pissing me off. I should be... And this ring. I just don't want to spend 15 gold on a ring that gives me 6 mana, 6 intelligence with the stamina, same amount of stamina, because it's of the eagle. And Man of Love, let's have a quick look at her. She's got the same wizard hat, you know, Harry Potter. She's got the eagle neck. Just bought that. Wow, those are big upgrades. Alright, enough looking. It's interesting. I had this experience when I leveled my Horde Mage because I'm competitive. I read, I research. I do that in life. If I come into an area, I don't focus on other players. You know, unless it's obviously the save is a full PvP server. But then I don't think I'd be doing this. I'd be going in dungeons where most of the PvP is. They do everything because they get slaughtered. But I come into these areas and I encounter this dickhead on the Arathi farms where the orc peons are. And on my Horde Mage, I encountered this in Sorrow Hill with Alliance Gnomes, mages. And maybe it's just Alliance Gnome mage players. But anyway, on my Horde one, I was just playing, and of course, because I've got very high health and a lot of mana, and I'm not geared, I'm just eagled. Gear of the Eagle means I can take a lot of hits, and I can pull a lot of mobs, and then I got a lot of mana. I still can die, all that sort of shit. But I could get big mobs and I level fast. Now, if I come across someone doing me, I wouldn't be focused on me. I'd be focusing on just competing for the mobs. But what happened as a Horde Mage, the Alliance Gnomes constantly kept trying to drag mobs into my blizzards. And of course they do it when I was low on health, low on mana, and trying to get me killed. And I'd always play safe. And we're just gonna reset. Just resetting the session here. Anyway, so and that involved me not dying because I had way more health than them, and I did the same to them, and they always died. And I realised I was losing XP by focusing on killing them. Same things happen here, but with Alliance Gnome Mages again. It seems they don't like it, and because now there's two of me. $147k, wow, Jesus. Up here, it's dropping fast. Got several blues out of this. Some of them are valued between 15 to 30 gold each, which is good. So, half of those are still up for sale. The rest are in my converted to gold and sitting in my bank. Well, I think it's TBC, Burning Crusade, or Wrath of the Lich King. You can see how much. There's an info page tells you how many things you've killed, how much gold you made, how much gold you spent. I'm not sure if that's applicable in this client at the moment. Maybe it is. But anyway, long story short, that's what I saved. I hate to see what I've spent. But anyway, we're just going to burn up our breasted XP here, which is not much. But we're close to level. I'm pissed off that, for whatever reason, she is halfway. That Manahate was actually 3 levels above her. But when you group up and party up, you sort of end up earning the same XP. But anyway, let's just... alright, so this section's done. Let's move on. I don't want to waste my mana on a couple. I farmed this on my horde mates and I didn't get really any decent items here, but on these two, I've gotten a couple of blues, necklaces, one-handed blue sword. Normally before I bother looting, I make sure I kill every mob. Because there's so many wandering effing murlocs in this spozzy. So anyway, let's just... As you can see at the moment, it's showing 50k XP. 22 minutes to the level, which is... Don't think I'm going to be able to maintain that, but that's at rested XP. And if I was doing this solo, I'll be getting double XP I'm earning at the moment. But I don't think I'll be able to pull the same kind of mobs. You'd have to blizzard it, and because I'm not spec'd for improved blizzard at the moment. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. You get these mobs all over the place coming at you. So I found the murlocs not to be a good money earner because you're not getting cloth, but you're getting all the other stuff, which I actually just vendor, which is probably maybe a mistake. I can't be asked because it's just too much to worry about. haven't put up the video yet, but I'm just going to work on it. Is about having Fire Blast in the rotation now. Just everyone thinks. Okay. Whoa. Really ran into him. I just like the concept of the spell. It doesn't really daze though, from what I can tell. Because from my point of view, it should daze, it should stun them all. And because it doesn't, I leave it as a mid finisher. So I usually go in, group everyone up, combinations of whatever, you know, using Cone of Cold, or usually it's Fire Blast on a particular target which gets double hit. Sometimes it's only one, which is what I prefer. Group them up. I'm pull back through it. She's on the other side with then Cone of Cold, sort of picking up mobs. Flame Blast possibly again, and then a couple of Arcane Explosions. And then once I see that the life's about half or less, we do a big Fire Blast, which is a 45-second cooldown, which does some pain. So anyway, let's go make some friends. And as I said, I wouldn't loot too much because I've had a good night's rest and sleep. Got really cold here in Brisbane. Well, not really cold, just a bit nippy, as us Australians would say. Brisbane's not so bad. Sydney, Melbourne, ACT, Canberra, which is the capital. There's a cold snap that's coming for the next 3-4 days. Brisbane's dropped down to 15, which when you're used to 25s in winter Celsius, it's hot, it's cold. Alright, so I've used up my rested XP here. I'll just double check if she's done. Yep. So she's at 48%. What I was thinking is going over and just doing these quests, which I've not really done. Just to finish it off, something different. But that 50k, I'm not going to earn 50k XP once the rest is done. So I'll be 20-25, which is about right. Which at 85k or 100k, that's 4 hours. Okay. Okay. We're fully, let's drink again. 70k, what's she at? 40. So she's 30,000 XP behind. Which simply means I've just got to rest him. It's amazing because I've ran here through dungeons with the paladin pulling her through. Anyway, well, let's just see what we can see if there's some people are playing with up here. Okay, he sensed me coming. I don't like to sit around here because there's automatic spawns that just come out. And as a mage, I'm used to being on my own, but mana hate is the point man, and he takes most of the damage. I'm actually surprised. Yesterday for 2 hours, a level 40 horde undead mage was here. And I think he thought I was a bot, because he tried dragging mobs into my arcane blasts. And I think the way he tested if I was human, he waved at me, and I don't try to be friendly to the opposite faction. Just for role playing sense. So this is what I mean. Come on, girl. Alright. That's what I was talking about. Because we use so much mana, you get one mob then two mob. Sometimes I feel like there's a game master, like, I'll just spawn this one, I'll spawn that one, see how it deals with it. And that dude running around the outside pisses me off. Caught me in this spot so many times, not this exact spot, but caught me resting, drinking. So that's why you got to be careful how you pull the mobs. If you're doing this solo, and the interesting thing with the horde, and with the horde mage yesterday, as I said, two things happened. Because I was racing through and wiping these groups out in large numbers, not doing anything to him because he still was pulling large groups himself, but he was doing the traditional AoE. Let me just double check you can hear the traditional AoE, you know, Blizzard, Nova, Blizzard, Frost Nova, then Blizzard. And usually there's chests spawning around here, but also looks like there's players have been picking them. Yeah, so he was down here, he had groups of 4 to 6, if not more. And he just saw me running back and forth between here, just doing this almost automated with 2 characters, which it's not, it's me doing it. And this is a bit of a safe spot, so let's just finish the story. So he's over there running around. I'm pointing, like you can see me, but where I'm looking with this character. And so what happened is that he thinks I'm a bot or something, and I think he might have got pissed off that the mobs aren't all just sitting in big groups just for him. So he then decides, when I'm up on one of the hills away from him, to drag 2 mobs into my group. And at first I got 75% life, 50% mana. 2 extra mobs aren't going to worry me, especially with the 2 of us. So we blast it all down. I don't think about it. But about 8 seconds later, I'm in my back of my head going, is he doing that is he fucking with me? And I thought, nah, always think the best. Short time later, when we're really low on life and health, after a big pull, we're on the other side down near the water. He's dragged 2 mobs into us, and we just catch them with our arcane blast once. So then there are 2 of them on me, so I frost over them and swim out in the sea. We don't die, but what happened? I was down to about 200 life. But what happens is those 2 mobs chased us like from here. This is the island just here. I'm just double checking you can see this. Let me just. Oh, you can't see my cursor. Give me a second here. I think you can see my cursor now. Let me just double check. No, you can't. Alright. So there's a little island just above us there. So we end up swimming up to the land, up back past this the top island, which is above the one just out in front of us, and come back around. That's how far the mobs chased us. And we get back just in time to see a huge amount of murlocs, and he's trying to get them all, and he's doing this twice, and he's put himself under huge pressure to do big packs because he's trying to be greedy. And what ends up happening, he nearly dies the first time, and we end up getting half the packs and kill them all. We then come up here, we wipe it all out, we come back down, and I notice he's rounded up a biggest pack. I think he had 12 to 15 murlocs on him. He must have spent a bit of time getting smashed by them. And as he's in the middle of them, they're just pounding him. And you can't move when that's the case because of the leeway mechanic. But by staying where you are, you're getting smashed. Anyway, so he's trying to frost over, trying to blizzard, but he's getting hit, so that's interrupting his AoE. So he's in a bit of trouble. Instead of just frost overing and retreating and thinking, I've taken on too much, he dies. We come at this perfect spot where that murloc is just over there. I'll mark him on the head, as you can see. And we come to the corner, see him die, and we see all the murlocs reset, run back to the spot, and we then just pick them all up and wipe them out. But we're smart, we do it in twos in each pack. And then he doesn't come back for a while. He doesn't come back for a while, but the first thing he does when he does come back, in that little island, you can see at the top of the map here, he tries to kill us. He tries to pull mobs into our thing. So now I see him now as complete, not only because he's a horde, but now I'm a horde, honestly, but I'm forced to play Alliance because the horde side's fucking dead. But on this server, and I don't want to spend $60 transferring characters though, which might have saved me a lot of time. Anyway, so we decide that's it. You're now hostile to us. So we run up here because he stays up here for a bit, and we down on this island pack over here. So we race up here, and he's again pulled half the mobs, and he's trying to frost over them down. So there's only like 3 or 4 available. But because I've done this all before on my horde mage, and we know all about mana and life, and if he's not got the same amount of life of us, we know that he's probably traditional mage where he's might have stacked a lot of spirit, so he has a lot of mana, but not much. His life is not as high as ours. So I group up 3 or 4 brand new fresh mobs, drag him into his blizzard, and that's just enough to get him killed. And it was so easy. We did it once, and he died. So I thought, okay, but that was enough to scare him off. And I was hoping, they would be here this morning, or lunchtime, because I just did my yard and... So what we're going to do, come on girl. Okay. Took a bit of a risk there. Yeah, so that's the hostility, and I got it again by gnomes who were trying to compete with us. I'm watching this guy to my left. So that was a horde guy yesterday. I expected from the opposite faction, but in the Riothi Highlands it started with a gnome mage, XYLA or something, and it's amazing. He started, I didn't pay much attention to it, I was just, I'm there, I've got 2-3 hours, I'm just trying to level, it's boring, I want to get it done. You know, I'm in lockdown, there's nothing I can do. I was yard work and chopping things down, I think, but you know, I've got to deal with partner being home, I can't handle that. But anyway, so oh, here we go. I hate murlocs. Not enough to want to kill them. A tiger bean. I've got to say, I've got more greens doing this. Oh. And dazing them for 6 seconds. That dazing doesn't seem to happen. Sorry if you're trying to chat with me in the open chat, it's hard because I've got 5 screens open. Well, that would have been interesting. I forgot my hotkeys and dual teleported. What's he at? 74. So how I control my other mages, everything's macroed. So it's simple follow commands and assist commands. Pardon me. The problem I'm facing, because I have such high life and mana, is I need level 35, which I don't get to 40. And I've got... Alright. So what we're going to do... Come on, girl. Get undazed. That's it. Good girl. See, I had to drink a potion then. So I'm going to tell this to do that. If she didn't get hit, she's going to be picking up my shit. So what that means is when I'm out and about, I can stay in the field longer because I've got 2 characters with 2 sets of bags. And the goal is always to keep them empty as much as I can. I suppose we needed to do that. I have to tell you, dual boxing can easily lead to multi-boxing. And if this had been, I really wanted to do this at the start, but because of just the shit going on in my life and the work demands and stuff, I could have done it. I just didn't know how or whatever. But the main reason I ended up dual boxing was because I wanted to transfer some of the 2k gold I had saved on the Horde side of the server. Like if I could simply have done a faction change, I would have faction changed my mage and warlock on the Horde side. But it was just easier to, there's no faction change in this classic, so I thought, hang on, I'll start an account, do it for a month, and then here we are. Look. I don't seem to get dazed. I knew you were coming, so... Oh, that pisses me off. I just remember this, we're both engineers because we got the goggles at the start. There's some sort of boomerang flow that picks up your items, but I've got to do a bit of research on that. I keep forgetting. My pings are pretty high. Maybe because I'm up streaming at the same time. I was getting really bad pause lag, and it looks like it might have been add-ons that were out of date, but touch wood. I think I'm just going to keep going until this thing's 40. And then we'll quest it. But we're almost getting into my favourite area. So my favourite area is actually... oh, wrong continent. Because I'm a Horde, it's Tristful Glades going in, and the... where is it? Oh, Silverpine Forest, wherever it is. Yeah, Silverpine Forest. I love this area. So this area is okay. It's a newbie area, but there's just so many memories there for me. And the Undercity is just such an incredible thing for me. And then the Silverpine Forest, this area I really enjoy. And then the migration into Hillsbrad Foothills. But it's so different as an alliance because that's not here. But then you've got this region and into here. It's okay, but it's just not as good. But then after that you get some dual zones. But we're coming into my next favourite zone, which is Taris. And the various grinds there. I'm really not big fans of these other zones. Though I think I'm beginning to like Felwood. All these other zones I just saw as painful. But anyway. Oh, I didn't do my... just make sure she's... Yeah. Every AoE pull, you've got to be full life and full mana. You can take the risk, but as I said, even though this is not a PvP server, I've had one Horde cause me dramas, but I expect it from Horde, so I'm not worried about that. But it was the Alliance effers who said, they didn't... It was in the Arathi Highlands, the Peons. I'll just show you... Where is it? Arathi Highlands, around the... Yeah, into the New Plague, around that area. And this, when he dragged the highest level single mob was like 36 when we were all 33 into my Arcane Blasts, I challenged him in a whisper. And I said, you haven't spoken to me, you haven't talked about joining up, you haven't done anything, you've just been hostile and carried on like a little kid. And and then I just got angry and I said, I'm going to dominate that area. So I did. I said, stop trying to bully me. I blocked him. And then I dominated the area and I made sure I killed every mob. Because normally I wouldn't waste my time with 1 or 2s. But I thought, he's not getting any XP. I'm going to just... If he's good enough, he'll get it. If he's not, tough. So he sat, and then he sat and watched me for 2 hours. And I thought to myself, why don't you just go level in another area? There's like 5 other options. No. And I just thought, and then he was here too, but he didn't want to compete with me. Or she. So I don't want to sound bitter or jaded, but it was just... pretty straightforward. If I come into a zone, saw the same thing, I would just do my thing. And I would crack a joke. Because I've come across molly boxes. And they end up helping me. But anyway. We're here to 40. Meant to stay here to 42. I couldn't imagine doing this two more levels in this area. I say sometimes you got to risk it for the biscuit, and when you take risks, shit can happen. So I could have done that in 2 pulls. Christ, I could have done that possibly on 1, but I would have taken a lot of damage. And I noticed yesterday I was getting so much, I think it was because my gear was down to 50%. I was getting so much hits and damage. How was that? See any bits in this clip? If you want to clip them, let me know. Alright. She has more mana. Okay. I had a feeling I had one of these add-ons, and I might have turned something else on, and I think it's tracking all the items that the mobs have, and it's like pricing them or something. It might be something else, but when I was doing pulls like that, I would get pause lag for like several seconds. It was very frustrating. Anyway. And this area isn't a secret. This is just common knowledge in every AoE guide on how to level a mage via AoE. But welcome on Twitch if you're watching. I'm using Restream, which sends this to my YouTube and Twitch channels at the same time, so I'm just double check if it's doing the do. So with AoE grinding, it's very hard to guild chat, let alone reply to people in a stream. Unless I have it up on my screen, I've got to actually pull my finger out and do that. So if you start sending me chats, I can see it and I can reply. But normally I haven't been talking too much because of I base my home office close to several other areas which are quite loud. So I tend to mute external noises. Plus I get a bit excited too. Okay. Taking a shitload of damage. Okay. Ah, that was what I was worried about. Okay. So we're just going to keep running till we're out of aggro. I notice it does it for me, but it doesn't always do it for her. How the... Nice bug. So I noticed that this happens is that... What? I'm still in combat. The fuck? Is that my lead guy will be out of combat and my back character will not. I get it if there's a level difference, because there used to be 3 levels difference between these two classes, two toons, but for whatever reason I'll get the warning saying you're out of aggro, and I'll turn around and suddenly they're all charging onto her, so it's got me fucked. So they say the level between level 36 to 42 here in what's it called? The Dustwallow Marsh. Girl, you'll be a woman soon. When you hit 40. I've got to work out how to make both of them jump at the same time. That'd be great if I could do that. So I'm going to wipe these sons of bitches out. They don't stun like me. Ah, I knew you were going to do that. That's alright. Okay. You get the drink. And our love gets to pick up loot. I've got to say, thank God for add-ons that give you fast auto looting. RSI of the bloody hand here. Yeah, so if you're tuning in, this is the zone, level 36 to 40, 42, 42 they say. But that's 2 more levels here, and I'm going to go questing, because Mana Hate's going to hit 40 very shortly. She's 30k behind an XP to hit 40, so we'll do questing in Desolace, and then Tannerus, you tell me. It's always amazing when people get upset about how to say things, and I say, well, I've said Brisbane, grew up in a state where we call the capital city, which is Brisbane, but it's spelt Brisbane, but we pronounce it Brisbane. Melbourne, Australian English for you. So if you're doing this solo without a party member, you'd be earning double the XP, 180s, so you'd level faster here too, as a solo. Shit. Oh. Baby. Seem to be in a bit of a hotbed here. Alright, he's going to trigger. We've got see, look, they just wander all over. It is amazing. Let me know how the stream's looking, because I'm playing in 4K, downgrading to 1080p at 60 frames a second. Okay. That's what I'm talking about. You've got little mobs. You kill them, and they're coming back at different times. I can't complain, because you just keep repeatedly killing them. Alright, we've got max life health. Okay, let's pull him. We're starting to get... So there are known safe spots, which are certainly not in the middle here, which is as close as you're going to get. But up over here, you can't see my cursor, can you? Okay, don't worry about that. I'll run to it in a second. We'll have to pull a mob or two. CK off next level. Alright, let's do it. I'll pull one, we might as well pull three. See what I mean? Expecting one to run around and run straight into us. Anyway, this is the safe spot up here. All dependent on your level, of course. I just have to jump on. So you can freely come up here, even at the same level 36. If you're a bit lower, your aggro range is always bigger. And where those dead mobs are, there's usually one or two running through, coastal runners I think they're called. But my Saturday morning was spent giving the old place a vacuum, then yard work, getting rid of all the leaves, haven't mowed it, just hosed it all down. The life of a lockdown. And again, when I first heard about this game, I was backpacking, travelling through, probably United States, Europe, United States, God, what else? All over. And the one thing I remember hearing about, I heard warlocks were powerful, warriors, and then I heard about mages. And I heard that with mages, after every pull, you drink and eat. And that's true. But they never said you could do it for free. Alright. I'm shocked there's no players here on a Saturday. So unless the people I've been competing against are Americans, they may be Americans. Somehow we missed that guy. 99%. Oh, you can see my cursor now. Good. I'll just say. So this is the life of a. Oh yeah, cursor's working now. I've got the stream set up. Yeah, so with this little island over here is most where the major spawns are. The Horde Mage got two guys that got caught by Arcane Blast, and we actually teleported and out here, which is a reasonable distance, and they were still chasing us, so we frosted over them. We then ran up on the shore, ran along the shore. They broke their things and chased us. We then teleported into the water, swam past this island. They were still following us. We got to about the middle here. They were still following us. It's because we could chain frost nova, and teleport that we were able to get that far. Then we came back to this island, and they were still following us. So I turned around and started to kill one, and then the other one just left. And that, I don't know what causes that, but it pisses me off. Worst case is my poor paladin had the same thing happen, but he just had that as soon as I ran out of mana, I just couldn't keep myself healed, and I had 2 level 55 elites on me, which pissed me off big time, because I don't like dying when I think it's not my fault. Oh, I was so close to level. How much do we need? Still a decent amount. 1,000. So my plan for these 2 mages, because I did it on the Horde side, I had 2 grand saved up gold on my Horde mage. I obviously made probably 3.5. I will turn these guys into max level farmers of various stuff. Do all the same stuff my Horde mage was doing, but now I have two characters doing it on the Alliance. Better active auction house, and I've learned to do other things in Dire Maul and stuff, and Zergrub I'm going to do, and yeah. But let's just get there. Let's just hit 40 first before we get too carried away. So you can see why it pays to always be full mana on life, because 1, gives you a buffer, and I don't think I've purposely gone out and antagonised anyone, but I've had people try to get me killed. So being in a pool with full life, full mana, and then mana gems, and yes, there was 2 times yesterday as an example, mana hate. I don't know what I think, because my armor had been busted. My armor was down to 55%, so it meant I was taking more damage, and it was becoming noticeable. I just wasn't paying attention. I didn't think it'd make a difference, because I was just thinking, you think stupid things, like I thought, are the actual game masters logged in to make it harder for me? Well, I thought, geez, I'm taking a lot more damage. And after about an hour, I sort of looked up and realised I was at 51% armour on Mana Hate, because he's taken all the hits. You're leveling for 2-3 hours and you don't repair. So even for a clothy, and I've got things that buff my armour, it became noticeable. Anyway, we're about to hit 40 on this dude. No. Jesus, how close? Oh, jeez. 1 more kill. I knew I should have got that other one in. Big 4. Okay, how far is she off? She's 30,000. Yep, that makes sense. Alright, so I'll just show you what spec I'm running at. So what I'd suggest if you were dual boxing or you wanted to do something other than Blizzard, improve Blizzard AoE farming, is I would put 2 into this particular skill, Arcane Subtlety. Gives you plus 10% resistance to all your spells and reduces your threat on your arcane. The next couple, I put 2, not 3, but I put 2 here, so that improve again on top of that 10%. You get 4, but I've got 6, so then you've got 4%. And then the next 2 I'd put here, which increases the bonus from your ice armor or whatever ice armor, frost armor. Okay, because I'm dual boxing, I'm doing all my damage from arcane explosion. If you want to do improved blizzard, then you're going to go a different way. So the reason I've done this is I've gone for less so defeat the resistance against my spells, because that's spellcaster. So we're looking at 6 plus 10, so that's 16%. That's pretty bloody good. So I would suggest 2 here, not 3, but 2 to start with, then 2 here. That makes you more tankier. So you've got 2 here, and then what I would do is then work out where you want to go from there. So I've gone fire, and I respected it level 35. So this is what you could have in fire at 35. So I went for 20 points just to get blast wave, and that's what you're seeing. That's blast wave. It would be OP if you could do it as much as Arcane Blast. So that's why I ran the mobs up. I Cone of Cold them. I Frost Nova them. But predominantly I'm just doing Arcane Blast. And then midway through that pull, I will hit Arc Blast Wave, which can wipe them all out, or wipe out 75% of their life or more. And then a couple of Arcane Blasts wiped out. So I've gone for this, and this is also great for solo single target, because I've got a bit of a stun. I've got a return mana, that's great. Got extra range. I've got improved blast, which cooldowns quicker because it comes back real quick. I've got spell pushback 17%, which is bad. My fire does less threat, and then I've got the big pyroblast, and well, I need that to unlock blast wave, but pyroblast takes a long time to cast. I'm not sure if it seems to be mana efficient because it takes so long to cast, but anyway. And I've got your fire and frost spell crits were fun to. So fire and frost. I didn't realise it was frost. It was just fire. I initially, when I leveled, I actually went 2 arcane. Max. I went 3 there. Then I put it into wand, and then I did a couple points in arcane concentration, and then I pumped my arcane explosion crit chance up. Then I did this one for increasing my, again, tankiness, because I'm just running into mobs. I'm not doing the traditional Frost Nova, run away, then do Blizzard. And then I put 3 points into that, and I was actually going to go down and get this skill, which I may do, but I just so wanted to level a mage differently. It's still AoE, but it's predominantly arcane and frost, fire, blast wave. It's a combination. I'm using all the trees. So the logic here is, this makes sense here, that crit bonus damage from first spell, but the only real frost spell I'm using is Cone of Cold. So it's a really, and getting a cooldown on my Nova is great, 2 seconds, but I've got 2 mages, so it's not a big win-win here for me. I don't want that. That makes sense, but again, if I'm going to work out where I go from here, level 40 onwards, but 3, 2 is 5. I would max that to 5, and then I'd pump that. Probably go these. I definitely want improved Cone of Cold, and if I could fit it in like that, but I don't think I'll have enough points because I've got so many. I've got 21 on fire, and I've got 5 on frost, and now I've got 4 in Arcane. So I've got to sit down, look at the talent trees, classic talent trees, and just reset my build. But I wanted to test getting to 40 from 35 is when I respected. So it's going to cost me 10 gold each to do this. So kiss 20 gold goodbye if I respec. But I just wanted to test fire blast wave out, and I really enjoyed it, and I like the benefit from fire because I've hardly played fire because it's just so much easier to go AoE blizzard spec, which you would go 3 in precision because it's to hit. You take that because you're getting hit a lot. Alright, then I would then take that one, yes, and then I'd pump 3 into that, and then I'd do improve blizzard, whatever points I needed. I'll be getting that one, and then if I needed any more, I'd put it into this one to get this, and then pump it up to 3. And from there, you take that and whatever combination to get ice block, and then from ice block, getting ice barrier is incredible defensive spell, makes life even easier. And then normally you go into Arcane to get the 10% resistance buff and move forward from there. But as I said, I'm 21 fire, part frost, part Arcane, and I'll probably go further down in Arcane. The reason I've gone frost is because the +6 to hit for frost and fire, 10% again for resistance for all my spells. So that's phenomenal. Walk doesn't have that. I don't have it for Shadow. But you guys have heard enough of me crap it on. I'm going to level the mage Manilov. He's got 30k via questing. And you've seen how I've been doing it via AoE leveling. So anyway, smoke me a kipper. I'll be back for breakfast.
Game over, man. What's coming forward?
The Koala Farmer.